Hi, this is Michelle again. I doing a lot of brown rice recipes today. So my next recipe that I'll be sharing with you is how to make brown rice flour. I'm about to make a carrot cake, and I want to share with you how easy it is to make your own brown rice flour from home using a blender. So let's get started. If you've not subscribed to my channel as yet, make sure you do so, and also hit on the notification bell so that you can get notified every time a new video comes out. So guys, let's get started. So to start, I want to share with you what I did. I started already. What I did was I washed my rice, and after I washed it, I drained it, and then I spread it on a baking sheet. I like to line my baking sheet with parchment paper, and then I bake it in the oven on 350 for about 40 minutes, so that you want to make sure your rice is completely dry. So you want to make sure it's dry, and that's the reason why I bake it for 40 minutes at 350. And so even if it gets toasted, all the better, lighter. And it's just extra nice, and it's making it lighter. So I'll be back. I'm gonna wash my hands. You want to make sure that your hands are completely dried, and because you don't want any moisture to get in your rice, because that will make it spoil. You don't want no moisture. So my hands are completely dried, and then I'm going to add it to my blender. And now I'm going to be using my Instant Ace. I've never used it to do brown rice flour, so this is going to be a first for me. So I'm going to add, I'm going to add my rice. So just going to scoop everything up. Okay, so I'm just gonna scoop it, and I'm just gonna add the rice. Okay. And there's a little bit more. I'll leave that because I can always use that for another day, because I know it's gonna get messy. All right, so I'm just gonna put the lid, and you're making sure your blender is dry. Okay, and I'm just gonna put it on. Let's see. Maybe I'm gonna try this blend. Start. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the texture, what I've gotten so far. And so it's coming. So what I'm gonna do is, because I did it for about 3 times, and so next I'm gonna strain a sieve, and I'm gonna put this back in the blender and blend more. Just to show you how, I'll be back. I'm gonna keep doing that. Okay, so we're getting there. This takes patience. I bet if my other blender would have done it, much faster, but more than likely most people have a regular blender, and I don't want to discourage you, so I want to make sure I show you, and I rather just show you with what more like an everyday blender. But if you have a Vitamix, those high-speed blender, it'll work faster. Or if you have a mill to make your own. But just showing you how it's done, basically using a regular blender. So I'll be back. I'm still doing, we're almost there. And I'm gonna put the remaining ones that cannot pass through the sieve back into the blender, and then we'll blend again. And we just keep doing that until we get the right texture. And this is what I'm gonna use for those who are gluten-free, that you can make your own brown rice flour at home. And you can make you can have a day where you're just making lots of brown rice flour, and buy it bulk, make your flour, cool it, and store it in the freezer, refrigerator or freezer for long-term storage. and use it as you go along to know your baked goods. Okay, I think this is enough, so I'm gonna put it back in the blender and blend again. Okay guys, so I also decided that I'm gonna share with you how I use my high-speed blender, my Blendtec, to make the flour. So the remaining rice that's not finished, because it's a long process, I'm gonna share with you how to use a high-speed blender. So here I have the rice, the remaining rice that's still, it's grounded, but it's still too rough, too coarse. So I'm going to just put my high-speed blend, put it in the okay, that is amazing, guys. That is simple, amazing. I'm gonna share with you. So this is the one that was done in my Ace blender, and this is the one that was done. Look at the color, look at the texture. I mean, ready. This is ready to go. This one was done, and I mean, they're both fine, but I noticed the color. The one that's done in the Ace blender has the same brown color, while this, so obviously this must be finer because it is smooth. It is, I can't exaggerate how much more powerful it is to use it, how much more powerful it is with a high-speed blender. I'm still happy I have both blenders because, like what happened, I just made my whipped cream. Well, I put it back in the fridge. I'll show you my whipped cream. So either I'm gonna have to ultimately get another blender jar. That's, I think my husband said we do have a second blender jar, but in the meantime, if you don't have a, and you have, so look, that's my whipped cream, and I use the blender to do the whipped cream. And now so the jar was being held up, so what I did was I transferred it and into this bowl, and see the texture. That's my whipped cream, because I'm making a carrot cake. And to be honest, what I'm going to do is, I mean, they're both fine and they both can work. So if you're at home, you don't have a high-speed blender, this method will work. It's not that it won't work, it just takes more time and patience. But if you know what, if you know someone who is has allergies to wheat, you know, the patience is worth it. So I'm going to actually go ahead and put this, the remaining one, in my blender. I mean, it's really, it's fine. And whip it away, and then next we're gonna make carrot cake. So stay tuned for